Hello and welcome to today's episode of Webflow and Code, where I teach you the underlying code you're writing in Webflow. Today's episode is going to be about the section element and the reasons why we use it. If you haven't checked out yesterday's episode on headings, then I suggest watching that first because we're going to be discussing that in today's episode. I'll show you the time codes of all the different sections on the screen now, but I'll also link them in the description below. So if you want to jump ahead to those individual sections, then feel free to do so. Sections are pretty self-explanatory. They're just sectioning content, but Webflow does something quite interesting with the section element. Under the hood, it creates it as a div, which in HTML terms actually doesn't mean anything. It's not describing the content within it in any way, shape or form. It's only purely used for layout. Webflow's help describes a section as a div with a width of 100%, but divs are what we call block level elements, which by definition have a width of 100%, so I'm not really sure what they're doing with that. A section is a HTML element that is described as a generic sectioning element. There are other sectioning elements which we'll get into later on in this video, but a section should be used when there's no other tag that can be used to describe that content within it. The general rule that I use is that if I see a heading, I always wrap that area in a section. So every time you use a heading, just look for the wrapping element and just make that into a section. Create a section element and click on the element settings at the top right of the screen. You'll see a tag drop down, and within that tag drop down you'll see a section. So go ahead and select that. Or if you're in the process of updating an existing website, just find your header, find the wrapping div or whatever it is, and go to the element settings and select section from that tag drop down. And there you go, you've created a sectioning element. Now, when you were in that drop down, you probably would have noticed that there's two others in there called aside and article. So we can go into what those things are used for as well, because they're equally as important. So an article is used to describe content that is completely unrelated to the main content of the page. This could be like an advert or a blog post or something like that. So the reason why this is important is when Google is indexing the page, Google is trying to understand the page. If it comes across an article, it won't try and read that content to understand what the main content is about. So it will just essentially completely ignore it. And you can imagine why this is important, because if a Google or a Spider is coming on your page and it's trying to understand what it's about, it's going to get confused if you start talking about something completely irrelevant to the main body of the page. It was really useful for just sectioning out your content in that way. The other element in that list is an aside. Now you're using aside as like an aside. Like it's kind of like if you're telling a story and you're just sort of saying a bit of useful information, just like as an FYI sort of thing. So again, aside is a useful way to present sort of indirect information related to the main content of the page. Now, within all of these sections, you can use sections within sections. So just to kind of break it up a bit. So within an article, you can have sections. Within an aside, you can have sections. So that's kind of a useful tool then if you're having a H1, then a H2, you wrap that in a section, then within that you have a H3, you can wrap that within a section. So it's really, you can really use sections within sections. We discussed in the previous video that you can only have one H1 on the page, but with these sectioning elements, you can actually introduce your own heading structure within those sectioning elements. So you could technically have a H1, another H1 within a section element. I wouldn't really recommend it. It only really makes sense for me to use another H1 in an aside, in an article, because then it's kind of its own thing then, its own entity. But again, it could look confusing, or you might understand, and it's completely okay to use this to continue your heading structure just completely as normal as we discussed in the previous video. So that's sections and sectioning elements. If you have any questions about that, then please just leave them in the comments below. If you want me to cover anything else, then let me know in the comments as well, and I'll do my best to cover those things. So until next time, happy no coding.